another settlement need our help. I'll mark it on your map.
You done fucked it up!
Fellow Tice, my friends. Hey guys, this is Zero to my Kitsune, and this was gonna be a video on how I was gonna do mods going forward, as you know that I haven't done that many videos on that subject in a while, but something else came up. Paid mods are back. And just like last time, Valve and Bethesda didn't tell anyone. I don't understand how they could make that mistake again. The biggest mistake that they made the last time this was attempted to be implemented was simply not communicating with the modding community. It's like these communities built themselves up over years, created, families and connections, only for some overlord to show up and demand taxes from them. That doesn't normally go over too well. Now, originally I hated the idea of paid mods, hated it to death. But I've gotten older, I've thought over it after, a period of months, and now I'm more worried about just the corruption of the system. A comparison I'd like to roll out is this. I guess it's a Korean manga that I've been reading recently. Either way, its name is called A World That I Rule. And 18 plus, by the way, so even though I'll link it in the description, if you're under the age, why the fuck are you on my channel? Pretty weird, but otherwise, check it out. But the comparison is this. In that story, you have this perfectly perfect paradise. And all comes this one character who's been basically, beaten down by the, standardized world and finds himself on this fancy land. And what is the first thing he does? Fucks it up. He basically teaches these perfectly peaceful denizens the ideas of deceit, distrust, and greed. I hope you can understand where I'm going with that comparison. And the only real result we got from the entire debacle was mod authors flat out quitting the community. And let us not forget that Bethesda themselves had partnered up with some mod authors under an NDA and told them how there'll be a rough patch, so they knew that there would be a pushback. Evidently they didn't know how big it was, but they knew there would be one. And the fact that they simply cut ties to many mod authors when this went south, and they basically threw up their hands, leaving these mod authors to fend for themselves against a community that basically saw their actions as treason. Now, while for the most part I've gotten a lot more lukewarm to the idea of paid mods, there are a handful of arguments I have that I honestly don't think will ever change. One argument being the expense of modding. Looking at my load order, I have 378 mods currently set up. And even at $1 per mod, that could easily creep into the $400 mark. Granted, probably a decent chunk of those are texture mods, but who's to say people won't end up selling each and every texture for $1, citing the fact that $1 is not a lot. And while that's true for a single payment, that ignores the fact that those payments will stack up quickly. A common argument against microtransactions. My second argument comes from the fact that adding money into the equation will cause developers to find a sort of cookie cutter design in which what the majority of people want will become the priority. What are two genres in YouTube that people hate but are insanely popular? I think there were react videos and drama videos. Yeah, we'll have more of that. Instead of people finding their niche or finding out what they want to design and making that a reality. And finally, once again making that comparison to that webcomic I explained earlier, people refusing to share mod resources or simply fighting over the rights to ideas that theoretically no one should have ownership of. And while I have other smaller worries, those are the main ones. On the other hand,
if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Hard work should be rewarded somehow, and getting paid for their efforts could allow devs to put more time and effort into their art. To sum this up, because this video is getting pretty long for something I wanted to be rather short, this sucks, and it just adds to the irritation I have with Bethesda as a whole ever since this game got released. Now, the vindictive side of me wants Bethesda to hurt in sales because of this decision. Just have people who just bought the game refunded, or have the people who already fell into the trap of buying this game not buy any of the DLC or deal with this paid mods bullshit. But the more rational side of me simply wants competition, because competition is the only way to keep a company honest, because then they have to fight for you, the customer's attention. They can't make mistakes, they can't risk angering their fan base. And that's not just for Bethesda, but for Steam as well. And sure, with Steam at least there are some competition, but really it's not enough to stop the monopoly they have over the gaming industry right now. Maybe one day a company will come along and actually be able to bring a challenge to Valve and their icy grip on gaming. And maybe in that same hope, another company will show up who has the ambitions that Bethesda used to have, and the friendliness to work with the modding community the way Bethesda used to have. But who knows, maybe paid mods will end up being either pointless, or maybe it'll end up being success and Valve/Bethesda will do something I didn't expect or none of us expected, and it'll end up being an amazing new addition to the community. I can only hope for the positives. Either way, that's how I feel about this. Leave how you feel about it in the comments maybe, and I'll see you guys next time.